If you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s, nothing was better than going over to your friend's house and talking trash while playing the newest Mario Kart. When the N64 released and allowed 4 players at once, video games evolved into the perfect hangout activity. Instead of taking turns playing as Mario on the NES, you and 3 friends could all beat the crap out of Mario in Super Smash Bros. Many of the best co-op games came out during this time period, from the Mario Party and sports titles to Guitar Hero or Left 4 Dead. But the era of online play seems to have killed couch co-op for the big studios, with the newest Call of Duty lacking the traditional 4-player co-op, and titles like Sonic Superstars that allow 4 players, but were designed with only 1 in mind. That's where PlateUP comes in. The past 10 years, indie developers have picked up the slack, with games like Octodad, Cuphead, and It Takes Two built with couch co-op at the core of their design. If you've never touched PlateUP before, you might mistake it for the other popular indie co-op cooking game. And yes, there are 2 popular indie co-op cooking games. Unlike Overcooked, PlateUP is a roguelike game where you and your friends build a restaurant from the ground up into a fine 5-star establishment. It was first released back on Steam in August of 2022 by publisher Yogscast Games. For a title created mostly by one person, PlateUP has had astounding success. Alistair has managed to build a game that appeals to any demographic or skill level of gamer. My mom hasn't truly enjoyed video games since she was a kid playing on the NES, but this has become her new favorite game. That mass appeal has led to over 1.5 million Steam copies sold, a number that is likely skyrocketing due to PlateUP's release on all major consoles back in February. Your first time hopping on PlateUP is pretty standard for any cooking game out there. A customer walks in and orders a well-done steak, so you go ahead and cook the steak until the colors look just the same, because no one taught you what well done is supposed to be. After the customer finishes eating, you wash their dish and the cycle continues. But then the day ends, and all of a sudden you're bombarded with all these different options to upgrade your kitchen. The ability to create your own restaurant is at the core of this game. The most important skill in PlateUP isn't precise button combinations or proper movement, but knowing how to design an efficient kitchen. Something as simple as reorganizing the way your team does dishes can have a massive impact on your in-game day. Then there's the roguelite aspects that round everything out. Every playthrough is designed to last 15 days, or about an hour and a half in real time. At that point, you are given the option to continue playing into overtime and build the ultimate steakhouse, or completely restart with a new layout and new recipe to cook. Choosing the right layout to match your recipe is the first and most critical choice in the game. Coffee doesn't take much effort to make, so a small kitchen would be fine. But trying to cram every ingredient for a salad in a tiny kitchen results in tight corridors, and chefs yelling at each other to get out of the way. Once you've decided on a restaurant, you have a 15-day window to customize every aspect based on the various blueprints presented at the end of each day. You can add an extra oven to help with cooking, or build more dining tables to seat your increasing customer base. And if you're really feeling spicy, you can even change the floors. The economy in PlateUP forces you to purchase sparingly. In the first few days, you may only be able to purchase 1 or 2 items. Any experienced chef knows the first one has to be the research desk. By placing a blueprint in the filing cabinet, you can hit the books and upgrade 1 blueprint each day. This is how you unlock specialty conveyor belts or turn a sink into a dishwasher. The research desk is so integral to the game that I start nearly every day of every playthrough by upgrading something. Beyond customization, every 3 days your restaurant is given a star, and presented with 2 different upgrade cards to choose from. These cards will make the game more difficult, by either adding a new recipe or changing up the gameplay, like hiding the status of angry customers. That card in particular can lead to disaster, since a single unsatisfied customer is a game over, forcing the restaurant to close. This short gameplay loop could easily lead to boredom if not balanced properly. But PlateUP is built for both new and returning players. There is a near endless combination of upgrade cards, which makes every run unique. And the strict game over rules make sure everyone's alert. For new players, starting on day 1 each time allows them to ease into the fast-paced restaurant experience. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the addition of a booking desk allows veteran chefs to call all customers in at the start of the day, so you can speed run through the early game where there isn't much of a challenge. This design allows me and my wife, who have played dozens of hours, to play in a completely different style alone versus when playing the first time with others. While the game is designed with up to 4 players in mind, PlateUP is still a fantastic solo experience. In the process of making this video, I would find myself hopping on to grab some footage and making it all the way to day 15 without even glancing at the time. The importance of an optimized kitchen is highlighted in solo play, because you don't have someone else there to pick up your slack. This often led to creative solutions as I would try and automate as many processes as possible, like washing the dishes or serving coffee. The PlateUP experience is all about starting fresh each time, and the road to completion follows that same route. PlateUP has 26 trophies that each encourage you to play in a different way. It's impossible to get more than a few trophies in a single run, so you're forced to reset and just play the game like you normally would. The most interesting achievements are those which ask you to play in a non-traditional way, like Work Smart, where you have to spend an entire day without moving, or Antisocial, where you aren't allowed to serve any customers directly. These can be beaten using every ounce of creativity and planning that the game allows, resulting in an unbeatable restaurant where the employees get to sit back and just relax. Or you can take the easy way out and earn these on day one before things get hectic. I definitely chose the latter. But either way, PlateUP allows you to play in your own style. If you like things to look pretty like a gourmet restaurant, go for it. But I'm looking for max efficiency, and my dining room is a grotesque slap in the face to aesthetics that would never be allowed in the real world. The only true challenge to get the platinum is to reach overtime day 15. Surviving 30 days without having a single customer leave unsatisfied takes dedication and thorough planning. For my run, it took us about 4 hours and ended with us both trapped in a prison of our own making. If you're taking this game slow and are just going for trophies as they come, then this is a great completion experience. But I was trying to finish this game within a few weeks for the video, which led to some frustrating setbacks. The single achievement that took the longest was Safety Last, which required you to have both the sharp knife and trainers in the same game. Since the blueprints are random each time, I literally spent 6+ hours playing, just hoping to get both those items in the same run. In theory, this achievement doesn't sound too bad, and it probably isn't for most people, but I kept re-rolling the blueprints and the RNG would not cooperate. Eventually I went for the blueprint desk, which helps generate random blueprints until you get the one you want. And luckily between the blueprint desk and re-rolls, I was finally able to get it. With that out of the way, I was left with one final achievement that I assumed would have been one of the easiest in the game. All I had to do was serve a single customer stir fry, but that's not as simple as it sounds. In PlateUP, there's an underlying experience level for each player that goes all the way up to 15. And the final unlock at level 15 is the stir fry. I had already played dozens of hours at this point, but was only level 12, so it was time to grind some XP. After doing some digging, I came across a really simple way to level up fast. Each time your restaurant is forced to close, experience is granted based on the upgrade cards you've acquired. PlateUP has many fun challenges like a weekly speedrun or turbo mode where a new upgrade card is added each day, but the one that helps us here is the Autumn Challenge. These restaurants automatically come with one upgrade card, so to quickly level up, all I needed to do is start a run and immediately abandon it. This would give me 200 XP each time. Needing another 7,000 to reach level 15, this took some time. I sat down and just farmed for over an hour and finally reached the max level. And with the stir fry unlocked, the final dish was served for the platinum trophy. Altogether, it took me a little over 40 hours to get the platinum for PlateUP. And outside being yelled at for not doing the dishes in a video game, it was the best co-op experience I've ever had. If you're looking for a game with compelling characters and a killer story, this is not the game for you. But if you're looking for a fun co-op experience, I couldn't recommend it enough. The gameplay is some of the simplest yet most inviting I've ever seen in a party game. And even though your restaurant is abandoned after a couple hours, you still get the sense of progression by slowly unlocking new recipes and restaurant styles as you level up. The Platinum Trophy is definitely worth going for, but I would recommend taking things slow. Just enjoy the game and you will naturally earn it. PlateUP is only $20, and it's a steal for the many hours you and some friends will sink into it. My wife and I first met at a restaurant, and this game brings back so much nostalgia for the good parts of our job, without having customers that could talk back. With the PlateUP Platinum down, that makes 35 games I've fully completed. I just started on YouTube a few months ago, and I'm still figuring out what kind of content is best for this channel. If you have any suggestions for future games to cover or video ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I'm currently working on a Celeste challenge video that I'm looking forward to showing off. And if you like this video, I'd recommend checking out my last one ranking every mainline Crash Bandicoot game. Till next time, thanks for watching.